Live. You want to take a guess on what just happened?
I saw it pop up. I saw it pop up.
Oh my god.
Oh, this game.
Jeez. Hello and welcome to the BRL Breakout Racing League. Is here we on here at round 17, maybe 18. I'm not really sure. You're gonna have to check me on it, when we get to you. But nonetheless, we're here. Circuit Americas are also known as COTA, where it's been notorious really for great racing and especially for late-minute penalties being handed out. Notables are for Max Verstappen and Kimi Räikkönen. When Max Verstappen gotten a penalty for trying to overtake off track on Kimi Räikkönen, but my qualifying timer, by the way, get this out of the way, will not be correct due to the fact I was kicked out before the stream started. So we're gonna throw out on our co-com tonight for qualifying. Speaking of co-com, his name is Vinico, but I'm referring to Zeno. Zeno, how are you feeling about COTA and Tier 3, and what do you think of these drivers going on the tackle COTA?
Well, first off, I'm just gonna say straight off the bat, I've been to this track a couple times, and the track is absolutely amazing to not only watch, but also to drive on. So it's going to be very interesting as to how everyone is gonna go through this track. And well, I'm not entirely sure how to feel. I mean, obviously right now I feel good, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens, and then we'll see my true mood.
Yeah, so, I just woke up, so I apologize for me sounding out of the mood, really, so you have to give me time, because my sleep schedule is absolutely terrible.
Help with the energy.
Anyway, looking at the tires, we have a split grid between the mediums and the softs. That could give us an answer on how the weather is going to play out for this Grand Prix. We have 7 drivers in the softs and 5 in the mediums, excuse me. Titan, the first driver to be on a lap time.
Oh.
Actually, he's not using any battery, so he's going to do a little Baker lap. Nonetheless, the McLaren driver will be the first driver to put down a lap. Excuse me. But COTA, especially through here in the S section, and you saw it there, and validations and track limits will play a huge factor in tonight's grid. If you saw it yesterday, or maybe even F2, really, a lot of drivers got time penalties. Just gonna have to look out for that in this Tier 3 Grand Prix, because the track limits are very, very tricky. If you get understeer or even understeer, if you don't keep in the track limits, the game will hit you with a warning or even a time penalty if you're on 2 warnings. You get a time penalty, you have to extend the track 3 times. The first 2 times you just get a warning for it, and then the 3rd time you get a time penalty, and it just repeats the cycle, really. And it can start adding up to 6, 9, 12, 15, all the way to disqualification. I don't think anyone's going to get disqualified, though. Is that Haas? I believe that was Geppy. Yes, it was. That let Gary, the Mercedes driver, through. He's going down in the Sector 2 now on that long straight.
Yeah, we'll have to see what Gary could do in this qualifying session. Last week, he didn't entirely have the best of times, as he actually retired from that session, and that allowed his championship.
Invalidated.
Oh, what's going on?
He invalidated on straight line.
Oh, he has. Yeah, you're right. But going back to what I was talking about, Gary needs to bring it back, because last week he DNF'd, and his championship rival, Ron, managed to take the win and increase the gap from what was 1 point in Gary's favor to now 24 points in Ron's favor. He's got a bit of work to do. We'll just have to see where he can position himself and how the strategy is going to play out, really.
Yeah, the strategy here, Coda, if, personally in my opinion, if it doesn't rain at all, my preferred strategy is medium softs. That's exactly what you did, or what you were supposed to do, until you had that lap 1 incident, which, by the way, you did not send to the stewards due to it being a lap 1 incident, really. And me being your team manager, I'm not that very happy with that, not gonna lie, but this is not realistic tier. We're just gonna have to talk about that later. This is tier 3, but the next driver to cross the line, your starter lap will be the fraud driver, Vron. And actually, we don't have a lot of people on the track right now, which is really, really odd.
I think some of the drivers are just waiting for the track grip to really just come in, as we're only just over 5 minutes, I think, or 6 minutes in the session. Obviously, you don't have the timing right, but luckily I do. I think everyone's just waiting for the track to ramp up, especially with the likes of GXR Rage, Ishigo, and Stig. We're just really going to have to find out in the latter stages, because if you can really nail a lap run here, that could boost you all the way up to the top. Just going to be interesting near the end of the session, really.
Yes, I'm asking for the weather right now. And actually, we'll be doing some pre-race interviews, really. We're just going to have to wait. Or actually, you can invite him to the party now. Now, for manager driver Dixie Ishigo, he's asked to do a pre-race interview, so just invite him to the party while he's in the pit lane. It would be a perfect opportunity to get that interview going. But the next person, yes, the next person to cross the line, I believe that is a Haas of, that is Kieran. He's actually on pole for 33.7 on the mediums. Potato, the Williams P2, 34.6. P3, we had the Red Bull Vardell for 34.7 on the software, just a banker. And there he is, Alfa Romeo driver of Dixie Ishigo. Make sure your audio is encoded, that way we could get this interview going. And it started. Is it good?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Really, to start us off, Dixie Ishigo, you was in tier 4 for a while, moved up in tier 3, but now you are 4th in the Drivers' Championship standings. Only the 4th driver, by the way, that only put up over 100 points so far. So just, especially for the championship battle and for this races just winding down, the clock is ticking. Are you trying your best to gain on these championship leaders? That way you have something to say at the end of the season?
Yeah, that's the goal. I was actually looking at the driver standings because I only joined at Hungary and I missed Netherlands, but other than that, I've been on the podium every race except Spa and got 5th, so I would have liked to have got the championship, but I think the gap was just too big to Ron and Gary. I think it's like over 100 points, but 3rd place is definitely the goal. I definitely think I can get Ardell because he does bottle about every race, so yeah, that's the goal, 3rd place at least.
Some very, very strong words to his competitor, the Red Bull driver Vardell. You can have your own opinion on that. I do have mine, but I'm not going to say it here. But, Zena, do you have any questions for Dixie Ishigo?
I mean, not really, to be honest. I mean, I was about to ask about his goal going into through the latter stages of the season, but he already answered that, so no, I don't really have anything.
Well, there goes that question out of the ballpark, but here, Circuit of the Americas is actually a home Grand Prix. Do you expect to make some noise for tonight for the Circuit of the Americas?
Nope, not at all. I suck at this track. I hate it with a passion. So much. I don't even think I'm going to qualify. Like, I went into time trial and the best I could manage was like a 32.7 after like getting one clean lap in, and I said I'm not practicing for this stupid qualifying session, but the race should be good. I mean, if I do go out on qualifying, it'll be like the last 2 or 3 minutes. I'll get like 1 or 2 laps in, but I think the race pace will be pretty good. It was looking good in race sim, and realistic last night in the Alfa Romeo was good practice to see how long the mediums can go, so I expect a lot of people to just do medium softs or soft mediums. They're probably medium softs. The mediums just are a really good race tire, so if I get a podium, that'd be nice. Keep my podium streak up, but I'm just gonna hope for top 5 and hopefully just ahead of Ardell.
Well, since you're here, I haven't looked at my phone to see the weather, so can you answer this question real quick? What will the weather be?
Oh, it is bone dry. It is a regular day here at Texas, and it's just bone dry all day.
Yeah, that sounds like Texas, unless it snows for some reason. Like it
That
did
is
last year.
Texas. Yep.
Yeah, so. You know, I'm assuming you don't have any questions, but just to ask, to be safe, do you have any questions for him?
Nope.
Alright, well, that will conclude your previous interview. You can leave at any time, but we won't kick you out of the podium unless you stay here forever. Because you're probably lonely. So.
Yeah, let's have a driver in the freaking commentary.
I was
Yeah, real
commentating
smart.
to start cussing out of my mind when someone hits you.
Yeah, real smart. Yeah, perfect.
I'll just give you some insight to the race while I'm doing something, you know. I'll be like, hey, look at me, I'm about to overtake him. Oh, we crashed. Oh.
God. That'd be the day.
It will be the day.
I swear, if it happens at one point in the future, I'm just gonna blame you because you put the suggestion.
Hey, I mean, that could be a cool, like, last race idea. Like, it was like, there's like, I don't know, if there's no championship fight going on in the tier, just like bring one driver in.
God.
Or maybe there is a championship fight and it gets even more heated. Oh, but he
Yeah,
probably
that
did
reminds me of
bad.
a certain league.
Oh,
That reminds me of
yeah.
a certain league. Blonde knows what I'm talking about. I know he's watching the stream.
Oh, yeah, always.
I'm just gonna wait for it to pop in the
And
chat
action.
now that you said that.
Swap, best
Yeah, probably.
engineer. Shout out to Ball real quick. But yeah. Bye-bye. Thanks
Yeah.
for the interview.
Bye, DXD. Have a good race.
I will try my best.
Please qualify.
Maybe. We'll see. Oh my god, there's 6 minutes left. Okay, bye.
Bye.
I guess he's probably not gonna qualify.
I
That's
didn't
my
like that
assumption.
guy
He's not gonna
anyways. I'm
qualify.
kidding. But anyway, getting back on schedule, we have Potato being pole for 32.9. And never mind about that. That goes to Kieran at 32.1. About to crack the 31s. A really good lap time from the Haas driver. And we only have 7 drivers. Only to set down a lap time. Titan P7, Ardell P6, Kieran P5. Then we have the AlphaTauri drivers, the Doggo and Stig P4 and P3, Ted P2, and Kieran P1. And actually, Gary just now splits the 2 AlphaTauri drivers, which will put him in P4. And now we only have 8 drivers setting a lap time.
Gary with that lap is now the highest medium runner. It was Doggo before, but he beat it comfortably by around 2.5 tenths. Pretty decent lap time from the Mercedes. I'm not sure if he's gonna stay on that tire or if he's just gonna go for pole. Though actually, I think he's doing another lap because he just went a 10th up in the first sector.
I mean, his battery is getting lower, so he does have the battery on. He has a fuel light, so he's gonna run out of fuel probably. That's a yellow flag. That is for Stig.
I think he might have
Probably
looped it
just-
at the final corner and just decided to go straight into the pits. I caught like the last bit of that.
Wouldn't that be illegal?
Well, I don't know. Okay, there's 2 things. Either he spun at the final corner, or he just completely missed the pit lane.
Or he like locked the rear axles going in the pit lane and then just did a half spin because that's what I did. My career mode. That's not because I'm a special little boy.
Yeah, could be
What?
possible. Oh, yellow flag again. Oh, and
That's
Gary's run
for
out of fuel.
Gary. Yeah, he's run out of fuel.
So he wasn't going to be able to make it either way.
Well, we only have 3 drivers out on the track, which is DXD Ishigo.
Hey, he's on the
Dukes are
mediums,
raging
interestingly, I
Titan.
want to note. So he's deciding to go
Drift's
alternate.
there. Yeah. Wouldn't you even consider it alternate at this point, since like majority of the grid's on mediums?
Well, I think that's everyone's strategy going into this race. As you said, yesterday in Realistic, a lot of people went onto the medium compounded tire, and a lot of them made it into Q3, interestingly, on the mediums. So that could be saying a lot as to how the strategy is. And as of right now, the only people to set a lap time on the mediums are Gary, Doggo, and Kieran. I'm going to assume they're not going to bother going out again. but there's only 3 minutes and 45 seconds left in qualifying, so you never know.
Yeah, you never know. Because if you look at everyone's best lap time, Ardell and Titan did their best on softs, but all those were mediums. Both of them are going out in the mediums right now. Everyone is starting to go out on the track actually right now, so that should be a pretty big sign that qualifying is getting near to come to a close.
Well, they still got a little bit of time left to get a lap time in, but you never know. Maybe they're just deciding, you know what, just get these laps over and done with. Right now, 5 people on an out lap and 3 people currently on a lap time, one of which is DXE Ishigo. He's about to go over to the Sector 2-3 split, and, ooh, Purple Sector 2.
Purple Sector 2.
I don't know if that's legit or not, but if that is a strong lap so far.
He probably just lied to everyone on the stream. Watch him set pole back a whole second. He just lied to us.
I wouldn't even be able to do that. I guess medium was a 32-1.
Well, we're gonna see. Oh, he doesn't get a 32-1. He gets a 34 flat though, which will put him B5, the highest of the medium runners.
Actually, no,
And
Gary's
who was
still the highest.
Was that Rage? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
I have
it is
it
Rage.
on like the tires. Yeah, Rage in the Alpine P4, which is something really strong. If you think back to Monza when we interviewed Kieran, they said that for constructors battle, the Alpine would start making a charge. Well, this could be the start of their said charge because they haven't had the best of times since Monza, but Kieran P8 and Rage P4, the Alpine guys, they're looking to get something going really to contend with the Constructors' Championship.
Just want to know something real quick. Titan went up to P5 with a 34.013, marginally beating Gary for the highest medium runner, so strong lap from the McLaren.
I want to point out how close these medium runners are, which will be very, very important for this race because if they are this identical in the Grand Prix, that's just gonna be a huge battle between the 3. And Yeet Doggo's barely over 2 tenths behind, so Yeet Doggo can play a factor if these 3 step over each other if they are indeed this close between each other.
It's going to be very spicy, needless to say. Just waiting on 2 people to set a lap time still, in which Skeppy, I believe, has backed off on his lap he has, and Ron has yet to set a lap time. I suppose he might be doing a double lap, but championship leader right now not having a lap time on the board, which is interesting.
Well, he's about to set a lap time on the board, so let's just get rid of that narrative.
Yeah, unless he invalidates at the final corner, which would just be curtains, and he doesn't come across the line. I said the medium runners bring it to the 33s.
God, we're just getting it closer and closer, huh?
I mean, are you mad about that?
No.
then I don't see the problem.
Yeah, I don't see the problem either. But that's gonna be very important here.
Kieran just went to P2. It's a Kieran 1-2.
Oh. Oh no.
That is very amusing.
Oh, qualifying's over, by the way, because I see the checkered flags between Rage and Yeet Doggo. So that's the end of qualifying for them. Gary goes up in the P2, so no more Kieran P1 and P2. There goes your dream. Kieran Evans is not on the lap. We have Potato. He's a 10th down. Let's see if Ron's looking for another lap. His battery isn't draining. He's done in qualifying. DXD's looking for another run. As Ron actually gave him Slipstream a little play between them. Stick retires in the pit lane. Potato going to Sector 3 now, going into the penultimate corner. Now going to the final corner now. Let's see what lap time he's able to do. Comes across the line, gets DRS. It will stay. He actually will be P3. Jumps Kieran Evans, but will stay behind Gary. I believe Titan is the next driver across the line. He's up on his lap time, actually. So that's going to put him ahead of Ron, but behind Rage. Unless something happens here in the Sector 3 split. The XD is coming across the line now, which will put him P7 ahead of Ron with a 33.5. Let's see what Titan can do. Then we cross the penultimate corner now. Has very good traction now, going through the final corner now. Very smooth on the brakes, throttle, and steering input. Crosses the line, goes P8 with a 33.6. The Haas driver Skeppy set a 33.8. So that will mean that Yeet Doggo and Ardell will have free tire choice. But something to look out for is this split between medium and soft runners.
Ichigo, you liar.
Yeah, bro. He lied to us.
Yeah, he definitely did. Looking over at BRL Kieran, that is actually his first pole position of the season.
Yes, very good pull up indeed, with a 32.1, with Gary setting a 32.3.
Yeah, but who knows if that is actually going to be the case if he stays there, because like we said, strategy, that could play a huge factor. So for all we know, he could be at a disadvantage unless he has really good pace on the strategy. If he doesn't, then gonna have to watch out for the likes of Ichigo. But if Kieran can hold on, then that'd be good.
Yeah. So that will mean I would have to make the assumption that Ardell will start on mediums. If he does, that's going to be a complete split between the grid starting on soft and mediums.
Oh, it is. You're right. 6 and 6.
Yeah, can you not do math?
Well, I had to process it for a second. I was just like, hang on a minute. There's 6. Well, there's 12. Hang on. Oh, like that was pretty much my thought process.
Can a freshman do better math than you?
Hey, man.
Come on now.
I don't go to school anymore, okay? Give me a break.
What, did you drop out?
No, I graduated, dude.
When? Come on now. Don't lie to us.
2021!
Don't lie to us. Come on now, tell us the truth.
That is the truth!
Come on now. Alright, here we go. Looking at Race Director. Yeet Doggo and Ardell are actually on the softs right now, but that's going to be due to change. Unless they don't change.
It'd be bold if they didn't. I mean, Ardell
goes on
changed.
mediums.
Yeah.
See what Yeet Doggo does. The timer hasn't went off yet, so... Oh, yep, mediums for Yeet Doggo. So, yeah, that's going to be a split.
Which is going to be very interesting as to how this race goes. How will the soft runners play this out? And, well... Ichigo really being the highest medium runner, he's going to be the one to watch out for. Can he possibly climb his way up? Or will the soft runners just bolt?
Yeah, the softs really last. If you saw in Realistic Tier, we had the prime example with Crispy in Alpine. He was running a P3 bottom of the podium step, but around lap 6, that's when the McLaren of Taylor and AlphaTauri of Alphanisa started to gain back on him. So expect around lap 6 where the crossover point would start kicking in. But something to look out for, especially at the start of this Grand Prix, will be turn 1. That will be very, very exciting to watch. Will anyone make any dives? But they make dives, especially if they're ambitious ones. We may see a whole bunch of Stewart inquiries, which I don't want.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting how turn 1's going to go. Because turn 1 could be the deciding factor of the race, really. Because if you get a good launch and you make your way through turn 1 without anybody alongside you, you can easily just bolt away because everyone else will no doubt be clumped up. But if you get a horrible start, then pray. That's all I would need to say. Just pray for your life that you do not have a spin or any damage.
Just lick the stamp and send it, really. That's my advice to turn 1 if you get a good start.
Pull a Daniel Ricciardo.
Yes.
That'd be nice.
That'd be very exciting to watch.
Oh, it definitely would, yeah. Someone pulling it. Like, let's say, you know what? Ichigo is known to be a late breaker. I could definitely see him doing that.
Ichigo's gonna take the lead coming out of turn 1, knowing how turn 1's gonna go.
That would be amazing. Just a 6-car pileup with the soft runners. Ichigo just carves his way through and is into the lead, and will probably just pull away at that point. No, then again,
yeah,
Titan wasn't that far off Ichigo's pace. So if Titan gets a good start, a better one than Ichigo, watch out for him too.
Can you believe that this formation lap's already about the end?
Yes, I can actually.
Well,
Get a fast formation
I
lap and
can't.
realistic, so I don't blame him.
Oh, Kieran's lining up at the grid now, so now we'll just wait on the Red Bull driver, Ardell.
Now Ardell, he's going to need a big up in performance after the past couple of races. Last he stood on the podium was back in France. That was 10 race weekends ago. It's going to be hard to do that from 12th, but we'll just have to see how he can do that.
Well, it's a Formula 1 game. Anything can happen, but the 5 lights are on, and it's lights out, and away we go. It just seems like Kieran gets a very tentative start. Same with Gary. They're going alongside. No one's got a bad or good start. Now going into turn 1, I believe that's a send in the back there. It seems like everyone is losing and gaining positions. Everyone comes out of turn 1 very, very clean. So nothing there. Is there a battle between Gary and Potato? Seems like everyone. Oh, that spin. That is actually Skeppy around a lap 1 incident right there. We saw it realistic here of you. And Deer Hunter, I believe, bridges wing damage. That is Stig going off. What is happening? I believe
It's
Stig
hard to
has
say. I
wing
think
damage.
Stig might already be struggling on the soft competitor. Same with GSR Rage. He's all the way down to 10th. Ishigo is already up to 5th after all that, so he's had a pretty good start, but the top 4 have bolted away from Ishigo, already 1.9 ahead of him, and they're going to continue increasing that gap. Meanwhile, Kieran, that was actually a great start for him, as he's trying to pull away from Gary, but Gary slowly starting to crawl back already. Meanwhile, further back, Ron is making moves on Stig. Ardell's making a move on Rage. Ron is now to P7.
Oh, they're going 3 wide.
Oh, they are going 3 wide.
Oh, this can't work. Oh, they just made it work.
What? Respect.
I think Stig must have wing damage. He's just been falling like a rock, really, as he makes a little contact with Rage. As he pulls over to the side and lets his teammate through. Oh, yeah, that's wing damage, definitely. The way how his car can't turn.
It's hard to say. It might be on the right-hand side. Actually, I don't know. No, he doesn't have damage, so maybe he's just really struggling on the softs.
Maybe.
Could be. So we'll just have to find out later on. Meanwhile, Ardell all over the back of Ron. I thought he was about to... Contact between the two. Is that damage for Ardell?
I didn't see any in this game, but the tiniest wing damage just doesn't make the car turn whatsoever. Going through the S section, it doesn't look like it. Go through here, yeah, that's no wing damage for me, but like how I said, Stig had wing damage. Ardell probably has wing damage, but I'm probably wrong, so I'm gonna have to wait and see though.
He'll definitely have to
Battle
wait and see for that.
3 though is shaping up a little bit between the Williams driver and the Alpine driver.
Not even DRS, look how much he's gaining.
Yeah, that looks like a straight line setup to me, compared to Potato looking towards a more corner setup. The setups can play a factor, especially with these long straight lines here at Coda.
Yeah, let's have to see how that pans out later on, but Kieran actually doing decently in the corner, so I think it's maybe just the slipstream that was really powerful for the Alpine. He's just all over the back of Potato. Look at that, he's basically touching the rear gearbox of the Williams, but then next thing going through this section, the dirty air is starting to hit a little bit. He's losing a bit of time, but he's still very, very much on the back of that Williams, as the Williams is really falling back for the top 2.
Yes, the DRS, the drag reduction system, you gain an extra 5 miles an hour if you're American, but 10 kilometers an hour if you are a normal person. But I'm not sure how it works, but that's really all I know. So you probably know it more than me, so you can just explain it to the rest of the viewers.
I'm honestly not 100% sure what you said. I was watching further back in the medium runner, so I wasn't totally sure.
Just explain how DRS works with the drag. I know it does something with drag.
Oh yeah, no, of course it does. When it comes to DRS, you obviously have to be within 1 second of the driver ahead of you, and the DRS flap on the rear wing will open up, giving you a 20-kilometer-an-hour gain on the straights. I believe it was less than that
Ardell.
before. Oh, what's happened?
He's had a loss of traction, able to save it though. So we look on P3 between Potato and Kieran. Kieran didn't look difficult to use the battery, but here, no, he did not, as he actually gets through on Potato for P3. Nonetheless, this is a very different podium than what we've seen all season, which I really love. But those mediums soon to kick in though? So these soft runners are gonna have to get the most gap that they can before this medium runners start getting the advantage over the soft runners. Is Rage got around Yeet Doggo for P9 while we were talking about all of that, unless he stayed there.
I'm just watching the gap between Potato and Ishigo right now, and I think it's slowly starting to decrease. It was 2 seconds before. It's now 1.5, as Ishigo's also slowly starting to pull away from Titan. So I think this might be the crossover point where the mediums are starting to kick in and are now faster than the soft compounded tire, which is crucial.
Oh no! Oh, he's on the grass. What a save though, but that's gonna allow, oh, that was close. That was just very unfortunate timing between the Alfa Romeo and the Ferrari driver there, but that's going to stack everyone up. So I believe DXD was pushing a little bit too much, maybe had some overheating issues, and now here comes Ardell looking for a move on Ron. He's going to look for it, but also they're going to go 3 wide. Ron thinks better of it, but Ardell is able to get around. Did he just get around both drivers? Did he actually force off DXD there? DXT doesn't have any DRS. He is not in a good situation. He is just, that's a little dangerous if you ask me there.
Bit of a late move there from Ishigo to try and defend that, and Rage just had to let off the throttle. That could have been a very, very bad collision for the Alpine if he managed to hit the back, but luckily he's making sure that he doesn't hit the back of the Alfa Romeo. He sticks behind for now. But crucially, what that's helped is that Ishigo, I believe it might have been him touching the curb on the inside at turn 2 that just unsettled the car. It's happened a couple times, but he just managed to save it luckily. But that's now allowed Titan to be the highest medium runner. Ardell, he's gaining.
Well, with this DRS train behind Ardell, so everyone's just going to get stacked up again. So really, it's just, these medium runners are so close on pace compared to the soft drivers. Kieran and Gary have just left the other 2 soft runners just in the dust, really. So I think those medium runners, once their pace starts to kick in, they're going to have they're going to struggle to catch up to this top 2, which is what Gary and Kieran really, really needed in the late stages of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, they're building quite a comfortable gap to Kieran behind, and obviously pulling away from the medium runners, which is crucial for them. And when they pit, obviously they'll be on fresh mediums compared to everyone else's older mediums. Interestingly, Skeppy on the hards further back, but that is going to be crucial. Maybe they can pull a gap there, but they're going to have to be aware, because the difference between old mediums and new softs at the latter stages is going to be detrimental to the race. They're going to have to defend like Fernando Alonso to Lewis Hamilton back in Hungary. Obviously, this isn't Hungary. It's a little bit easier to overtake, but it's going to be crucial.
Something interesting to think about. If Lewis got around Fernando there quicker, he would have won the championship. Something interesting to think about.
Actually, yeah. Thinking about it, yeah. He might. Well, actually, no. Thinking about it, because he technically finished P2 after Vettel's disqualification P1. Grabbing... Actually, no, he wouldn't have grabbed 8 points. He would have grabbed 7, because Gasly took the fastest lap from him in that race. 7 would have won the championship by 1 point.
Maybe. We just got to wait and see.
We can't wait. The championship's already done.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oops. I was in the parallel universe, though, right there.
Yeah.
And Stig, our first time penalty driver to get a 3-second for multiple warnings, only took us 6 laps. That was longer than anticipated, really, knowing how strict and how sensitive the coding is for track limits here at COTA. But here's something to look out for. Ardell is dumping his battery for his Titan. He wants to get around him and be the leading medium runner, but I do not have a good camera angle. But here we go. He shoots his behind. Will he look for it? Yes, he does. Very deep dive on the right side. Titan left it through, looking for a switchback. He gets the switchback. Come on, where's the helicopter cam when you need it? A little banging wheels, so making a little bit of contact. Titan Ardell gets through, but will Titan look for another dive? Yes, he does. Ardell lets it through and then does the switchback like how Titan did. And now Ardell will be the highest medium runner, at least for now, because Titan is right on the rear gearbox still of Ardell. And that DRS is going to play huge dividends towards the McLaren driver once we get that DRS. But that is helping DXT Ron gain on him, and they actually left DXR Ray, G-Doggo, and Stig in the dust. But here we go again between Titan and Ardell. He's getting the DRS advantage. Ardell is probably dumping the DRS, so he's not. Titan's going to look on the left-hand side, using towards the inside. As Ardell actually deep in the corner, actually makes the corner.
Whoa.
He gains a little bit. It's actually DXT are going to will with Titan. What a move from the out. So maybe Titan just braked really, really early, and DXT just made the advantage of it.
Looking at that, obviously Titan cut the inside at turn 1, trying to get ahead of Ardell, and it obviously didn't work as Ardell had the outside line, got the better traction. But I was watching Ishii go through that, and the traction he got through turn 1 was absolutely insane, where he managed to stick his nose into the outside and then
battle
the
for
inside.
P1, by the way.
Oh, there is, yeah.
We had a swap for P1 between Kieran and Gary. That went completely under the radar. I apologize for that. As Potato is actually getting closer on Kieran Evans, as Ardell is actually gaining quite a lot on these drivers. So it's lap 7, so these medium runners definitely have an advantage. And Ardell is already knocking on that door for DRS.
He's going to have to be careful, though, because although he is close to the back of Potato, look how Ishigo is on the back of Ardell. He has made dividends for that mistake at turn 2. And, well, no, that's certainly not going to help.
Kieran's in. Yeah, DC 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So we have our first soft runner coming in the pit lane. Actually, a second now with Potato coming in. As Ardell already has DRS on these soft runners, which will help them out on their gain towards the leader. As Gary, for reference, Ardell is 9 seconds behind the leader.
I just watched Gary through the S section. He's starting to slide a little bit. I mean, the tires are starting to slow 3-second time penalty. That's not going to help them since Ardell's on the back.
He drifted through there as well.
Yeah, the tires are starting to go off for the Mercedes and for all the soft runners, and this would be the time for them to pit, as if you lose grip around here, you're done, pretty much.
Here you go. I thought the game was bugged out, but I didn't have the up, so. But like we said, DXT has DRS at Ardell. I wonder if Ardell's going to use the battery to keep him behind. No, he's not. DXT isn't using the battery to pass him either, so probably just pouncing. But here we go, DXT. Oh, he does a dummy move down on the inside of the Red Bull driver. Ardell does the switchback. DXT doesn't even make the corner. But will Ardell go defensive? No, he does not. DXT with the dive has to lock up the miss. Ardell. He misses, unfortunately. But oh, here we go, another deep dive. That was actually very close to contact once again. But it seems like these medium runners are getting impatient towards one another because they want to be the leading driver. That way, they can be the ones that pass the soft runners and get this victory.
Remember what I said earlier about Ishigo being late on the brakes? Yeah, that's pretty much proved my point. He is looking desperate out there, trying to pull Daniel Ricciardo sense. And unfortunately, isn't working though, and that's not going to help him. He knows he has the pace over Ardell. He's just stuck where he is. He needs to get past.
It doesn't help either that the Ferrari and McLaren driver are also getting on him. In my opinion, I don't think Ardell is just the fastest driver, but he is very, very good at defending, if you see there. Very clean racing between the two nonetheless, so there was any cheap shots that kept them behind or ahead. Very clean racing between the two, which we really love to see here at BRL, the Breakout Racing League. But here we go, once again, DXT will in fact get the DRS unless his engine explodes for some reason, which it doesn't, fortunately, but DXT will get DRS once again. He's using the battery compared to Ardell not using battery, but here we go. He's on the DRS button. He's definitely using it. Ardell does not, and DXT will just pass Ardell. Yeah, give him a second. There we go. Alfa Romeo driver now goes up into P2, at least for now, but with time penalties. We have 9 laps out of 28. Anything could happen. But with that battling, that allowed Gary to pull away even more. I actually didn't notice. Kieran's pitted. Skippy gets another 3 seconds, so these time penalties are starting to ramp up as Gary actually doesn't come into the pit lane this time through, so that's going to give DXT and these medium runners another lap to gain on him, as DXT's not even gaining really. Oh, what a snap from DXT there.
Just watching the gap right now between Gary and Kieran's going to undercut Gary. Meanwhile, Ardell looking for a move into turn 1, but just decides to back out of it. But yeah, looking at the interval, 15 seconds between the Haas and the Mercedes, and the pit stop is usually around 18, 19 seconds, so he's got to be around 34 seconds behind is the Mercedes.
So it'll be it's going to be close nonetheless, as Kieran, the other Kieran, not Kieran Evans, but the other Kieran, he's starting to gain a little bit, but Gary's pace is actually keeping him around that 50-second mark, that 15-second mark, so very, very good pace from the softer runner of Gary. As DXT goes defensive, Ardell will get P2 hours for now unless DXT sends it. No, he does not. But nonetheless, this swapping between the two, it's not going to work out in the end because they're staying relative to that 9.3 mark.
I'm just looking at Gary's tire integrity right now, and the left front, well, both the front tires, they don't look pretty. I wonder if he's going to go into the pits. He doesn't, despite that slide out of the penultimate corner.
He's probably going to pit this lap then.
Probably, yeah.
I think Ardell's going to be the one gaining, but I think the DRS is just pulling everyone along. As Kieran actually is barely not in the DRS of Yeet-Doggo. Once he gets in that DRS of Yeet-Doggo, I believe that's when Yeet-Doggo's going to push and get in that DRS of Titan. And from there, it's just going to not help out Kieran in the Haas driver whatsoever, because he has to get around these guys in order to gain a lot, really, on Gary. Ardell's gap between himself and Gary is already at 8.6, so it seems like the DRS train between DXT and Ardell just flopping between each other, sliding each other through, is really, really helping out the catch on the Mercedes driver of Gary, which they really need, because they do not need any sort of big gap when they come in the pit lane. That way they can gain enough time and pass them for the win. As here we go. Will Ardell let DXT through? No, he doesn't. As Kieran actually got around Yeet-Doggo. I did not see that, as DXT, that's a yellow flag. That is
double
the
yellow.
Haas driver.
Triple yellow.
Yes. Triple. What? That's
Titan
Skippy
was round,
off,
Skippy
no
was
front
round,
wing.
and so was Stig.
Wow. That was a triple yellow.
Yeah.
Wow.
What the heck happened there, guys?
Oh, here we go. I called it. Ardell 3-second time penalty. That's not going to help his case out whatsoever, as Gary's in the pit lane now. Let's see where he ends up. Kieran's going to be way ahead of him. Fastest lap goes to Kieran. Let's see where Gary ends up.
You know, Ardell makes a move on Ishigo down the inside into turn 1. Easy move for the Red Bull. He moves up into the lead of this Grand Prix, but not provisionally, because Kieran... Actually, wait a minute. That is huge. Kieran is only 2 seconds off of this train, and, well, he already made his pit stop, and these guys still have to. Wow.
Yeah, this is huge.
What pace from the Haas.
That's what I said these soft runners need to do. They need to grow the biggest gap that they could towards these medium runners when the switch starts to come in. And once the switch came in for when the mediums had the advantage, Kieran was just way too far ahead.
Yeah, like right now, he's
As
comfortably the
DXT,
fastest driver. Yet he should go making a move into turn 1. And another easy move.
Turn 1?
I mean, it's turn 12.
Turn 1?
There's 2 DRS zones, okay? Leave me alone.
guys. We swapped the start-finish line to that back straight. Okay.
Honestly, I feel like it works out either way. Because, I mean, they both have DRS zones. They both have heavy braking zones. I don't see the difference.
Well.
That's it? That's all you got?
Ardell
Wow.
Yeah, just wow. I can't add on anything to it. What do you want me to say? But once again, battle for P1 shaping up. Ardell's gonna go on the inside, and DXT lets it through unless he's gonna do some switchback here. He's looking for it. He doesn't get the pace out of it though, which will put Ardell back up into the lead. And Kieran is on the rear gearbox of Ron. Hey, this is not good whatsoever for these medium runners. If you look at the pace advantage, Kieran has gained like 3/10 through the S section there, but he misses the corner through there. That's not good.
Yeah, but even then, just the traction he gets out of this corner is just basically negates that as he's still on the back of Ron. And right now, with this pit stop, it's obviously crucial. Kieran is out.
That's I thought that was a safety car. The way it changed. Will it not be a safety car? Where did he? Oh, that's a loss of traction if I've ever seen one.
Nah, I feel like that's got to be a safety car. That's basically close to the entry point of the next corner. I'm surprised that isn't.
We saw this in realistic here.
Hey, that's true, yeah.
Safety car by now. Yep. The car's cleaned up. No safety car. Huh. I'm surprised.
Are safety cars just like not a thing? Well, I mean, they weren't really a thing in Formula 2. They weren't really a thing in realistic. Maybe this track just doesn't like safety cars, like Monaco.
Yeah, it did the same thing in Monaco.
Yeah.
Great game.
Great game, indeed.
Great game.
And to think we still league race.
Yeah. It's just in our blood, man. We can't stop it.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
We just can't control it. Once we see a virtual video game, we just hug to it, tear our life until the next one comes out.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just looking at Kieran right now. Before turn 1, he was all over the back of Ron, but in the S section, due to the dirty air, it's affecting him a little bit, but he's still comfortably staying on the back of the Ferrari. He doesn't need to make a move, and I don't think he wants to. He just needs to stay behind, and when they pit, he can just relax, unless the soft runners have massive pace. As of right now, he's pretty comfortable.
That's a Titan 3-second time penalty, so we have 11 drivers remaining. We have 6 drivers, only 5 drivers do not have a time penalty. Speaking of time penalties, DXT is going to make a dive on Ardell to get P1, which will put him P1 at least for now, but due to time penalties, Ron will be your winner. At least so far. Actually, what am I saying? They have to make the pit stop. Kieran will be P1.
Meanwhile, Kieran trying to go around the outside.
And Kieran's looking for a move around the outside. Oh, that's a little contact. Fortunately, the contact system didn't get them locked together. That is something really good to see, is Willie be looking for another move through there. But this is not helping. I think to your point where Kieran doesn't want to go through, I don't think that's true with the way Kieran made that dive. Yeah. But battle for the lead is shaping up once again. I don't think these two are just. Oh, here we go. DXT goes defensive. He's tired of swapping.
You say that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
About that, they just easily swapped. Never mind.
Wow. I swear, these 4 drivers are always, unless we say something, they do the opposite. I don't think we should just keep our opinions to ourselves, really. Maybe we'll be right.
Well, in the latter stages, this might change, but right now they're just kind of doing their thing. And Kieran, he's just like, yeah, you guys do that. I'm just gonna mind my own business. He's gonna have to be careful though, because Gary's slowly starting to crawl back on these guys.
That's another yellow flag. That's for Stig, as DXT will get around Ardell once again. Unless Ardell does some miraculous turbo fuel. Nah, DXT just goes through for P1. These 4 are they're just chilling really. They're just doing their thing.
Yeah, they're also just trying to make sure.
Oh, here comes a dive from Kieran! I saw that one coming. He gets a 3. No, the bollard. No, you poor thing. No.
How dare you with the bollard, Kieran? How
But
dare
that gave
you?
Kieran a 3-second time penalty.
I give him a 5 for
Crucial to
killing
end
the
this Grand
bollard.
Prix. As Doggo comes into the pit lane.
He's on
So
the
that
mediums,
means
let's not
Gary, yeah, he's going to be the first soft runner to come in.
forget. I mean,
As actually these, yeah,
yeah.
they're going the softs. The Titan's in as well, so here we go, folks. This is when the medium runners are going to start coming in for their soft runs. In my opinion, that's a little bit too early, but nonetheless.
Yeah, they
to
can
their
probably
own
still
opinion.
make it.
Well, with Kieran making that dive on Ron, that means that Gary still has to negotiate through one driver to get to that other driver. That's a yellow flag. That is
Stig.
for Stig. Yes, it is. Stig not having a good Grand Prix. But with Ron getting passed by Kieran, they're leaving. These three are leaving him in the dust. He needs to stay in his DRS. As Ardell will look for a move on DXT. Let's see what Kieran does.
Oh, don't
He
take it
just
back.
lets him be. As DXT makes a dive on Ardell, they're just gonna whoop Kieran go for this. Don't make it 3 wide. I thought he was for a second. But here we go. He's gonna look for a move on DXT here. No questions asked. He's alongside. Let's see what DXT does with him being known for a late breaker. He doesn't late break as much, but he on the curb going through there. Now they're just gonna go through wheel to wheel here as Kieran just forces DXT to back out here.
What a move from the Haas there.
What a
wow.
move, yeah.
That's absolutely crucial. As Ishigo
As
goes in.
DXT's in.
Oh, and Ron.
Same with Ron. Here we go.
They decided ever since Kieran got by, they're just like, nah, done.
Now, Ardell, the only medium runner left out of the top 3, really.
Actually, wait a minute.
Stay out.
Gary is within the 3 seconds of Kieran now.
Yeah, that'll help out.
Definitely. So Gary has managed to catch up to Kieran, and Kieran he's probably thinking now, oh no, he's starting to gain. I need to get past this Red Bull now.
We'll have to wait and see. Really, is actually Kieran is pulling away from Gary in that section. And let's see, Kieran is actually right on the rear gear behind this Red Bull. Let's see what battery. Ardell has 50 battery compared to the 18 battery, so he's gonna have to dump all of it really, because if you see, there is barely a difference. As here we go, we're gonna go wheel to wheel here because I do not believe Kieran has enough overspeed to keep Ardell behind. Ardell for late break. Kieran gets the superior traction, and that will put Kieran up to P1, but this helps out Gary tremendously as the gap between himself and Ardell is already at 1.9. I expect Ardell to come in this lap though.
Yeah, not be surprised if he does. He's obviously, right now he's losing quite a bit of time to Kieran. It's now 7 tenths, 8 tenths, and it's just going up significantly now. And does he dive into the pits? He doesn't!
Something I want to point out, E-Doggo's P5, ahead of DXT, Ron, and Titan.
He's undercut them. Wow, so that has worked out for him.
Yes, and he's already about to be in the DRS range of Potato, but nonetheless, that means once they get around Potato, they're going to have around a 14-second gap. E-Doggo with the fastest lap. DXT has DRS, E-Doggo does not, but here we go. The man driver will probably look for a move on E-Doggo. Yes, he does. That's actually a retire. Oh, that looks intentional. That's a safety car.
Okay, look who's just benefited from not pitting.
Look, that, I will not lie, that looks very intentional.
Yeah, it looks like he's just decided to power drive at turn 12. And he just went straight. Where Magnussen actually went off in 2019. Oh no, that's
intentional. Yeah.
There's no way that's like a brake failure. Yeah. But
yeah.
Look who's benefiting from all this. A certain Mr. BRL Ardell. He didn't pit. He's gonna overcut Potato, Ishigo, E-Doggo, and Ron. He's gonna be P3.
Also, nonetheless, though, this hurts Kieran and Gary and Potato because they're stuck with the mediums unless they come in on the softs. But if they do come in, they have the risk of losing out all those positions and end up, I would have to say, P7. But the driver this helps out, though, is BRL Skeppy. I think Skeppy doing this is just this is why you never retire in the pit lane, folks.
Kieran's in. Gary's in.
Yep. That's what I thought would happen. That would mean Potato would have to come in unless he's like...
I would presume that you go into the pits. And I'm going to assume that
yes,
Ishigo's going to stay out. Yes, he is. Ishigo stays out.
Itogo comes in.
Ron is staying out. Titan, they're on brand new softs, which is very interesting.
Oh, something to point out is that oh, that means P4 for Ron. Gary's the only driver to lose any sort of position between Kieran, Ardell, and Gary. That will not help out.
And something to note is that Ishigo and Ron, they're only on 1 lap old softs. Those are still very good tires. I mean, just looking at them, they just look brand new almost. And well, I would not be surprised if they just had the same pace as the drivers in front of them. This was probably smart from Kieran because he knew that Ardell had to pit. So he was obviously thinking, I might as well pit because I know I can stay ahead of him due to the fact that the Haas pit box is way ahead of the Red Bull, so he would not get held up in any way. That's crucial. He's leading the Grand Prix now, well, still is. Ardell, though, he could possibly overtake. Same with Ishigo. They're gonna have to be careful, though. Ron, highest person, without a time penalty. He's done this before. He can do it again.
Didn't Ron say, I'm not sure what he said last week. You weren't there, though. He either said that he hated or loved Coda. I would have to assume that he said that he hated it because he's running P4, provisionally P1, and this always happens to him. So, but something to talk about. The Haas driver BRL Skeppy. I believe what Skeppy done is just never give up. And you think that your race is over? It's really not, because anything like this can happen.
Well, yeah, he's definitely just stuck it out as well. He's gonna get a point out of this as long as he just doesn't retire. So that's absolutely crucial. That's pretty much what I did in Tier 1. I get screwed over the first lap. I just run my race. Maybe something will happen. And this was Skeppy's stroke of luck. Oh, Potato and Yitogo collided.
That's gonna be Stewart's inquiry.
Yeah, and now that leaves only 2 people without a time penalty.
He's going in the pit lane.
Damage?
No, he has wing damage. Yeah, I see it. It's chipped.
Oh.
Oh no.
Yitogo, he was looking so good in this race, and now everything is just unraveled. He's still gonna 9, but he's gonna be down so many places, and he's gonna serve that 5-second as well, so he won't be able to remove it later on.
But Potato can.
That's right, he can.
Everyone is on the softs, though. It's just everyone is on equal tire. It's gonna be an all-out pace battle with the help of DRS. So
I think it might be a 7-lap.
Watch out for.
I think it might be a 7-lap sprint.
Maybe.
I mean, obviously they had to wait another lap because Skeppy's all the way further back. So yeah, I would presume that it would be a 7. But maybe even a 6. I don't know. But nonetheless, this is basically a sprint race once again.
This track is huge, though, and the safety car, for some reason, is really, really slow around here, so...
I mean, the safety car is always slow in the eyes of Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah. Lewis Hamilton's driving the safety car.
Let's not imagine that.
There's opinions. I mean, it's a Mercedes safety car. It lines up. It lines up. We need...
But it's a red Mercedes.
What's your...
Not a silver.
It doesn't matter. It is.
It has to be silver Mercedes or a black Mercedes, because that's what he's driven for Mercedes. If he goes red, then it might as well be a Ferrari, but with a better engine.
But Lewis had an offer to go to Ferrari, though. So.
That is... Well, no, he never got an offer, but...
It's like...
He's interested.
Talked about.
Yeah.
So it lines up. It lines up. It lines up.
Sure, we'll go with that. And yeah, the safety lap. So, 7-lap dash.
No, it'll be in this lap. No,
Don't
it'll
pull
be
in
this
Japan,
lap.
please.
Nah.
Haley saying in the chat, talk about rice.
No.
I agree, no. Something we can talk about, though, is the Haas livery for 2022. It's literally...
Yeah, true.
It's literally the same, but also worse, in my opinion.
You see this car right here? You see this car here? Yeah, that's exactly what you're gonna see next year. But the numbers, though, it ain't like black as it is, like this onboard camera here. It's like, it's white, but it's more clear.
I mean, the thing is with that is that obviously the front of the Haas for next season is basically the same. Like, there's no difference aside from the number. The number has a little white line going through the middle of it. It travels all the way through, which honestly, in my opinion, it looks nice. The rear is really what questions me with the way that they lined up the Haas, well, not the Haas, but like the blue and the red flowing through the car. It just makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Oh, and Bailey's saying there's no circle in the
Martin
numbers as well at the back, which makes it even weirder in my opinion.
Well, is it the next one like on the 10th?
9th actually, Red Bull.
Ooh, so we gotta see Red Bull next.
It's
gonna be the same thing too, so. Won't like every car's livery just be the same?
Oh god, please no. Well, no, it will definitely not be, because Alpine, they now have BWT. They're gonna have pink, and Mercedes, they're going back to silver. And same with Ferrari, actually. They have Santander. We can see some more white on the car.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that the silver arrows would go back to silver? Who said that?
Mercedes themselves.
Well, guess what? They're wrong.
Damn.
No, watch it be some like yellow livery. Watch it be yellow. But anyway, the car's gonna be back in the slab. It's gonna be in the slab.
Yeah, we haven't had the safety car this entire time. It's not gonna be back in. Come on, man.
Well, technically,
also, something I want to know: it's an American car leading an American Grand Prix.
Yeah,
something to note.
America.
Damn.
I just got BRL copyrighted right there. Anyway, oh, that was close between Kieran and Ardell there. He's probably gonna go like right as soon as the track goes red. Yep, I called it, and he's going. As Ardell gets caught out a little bit. What do I mean by a little bit? He definitely gets caught out. Potato gets ahead of Titan. He did go for a little bit of snap. I saw that. Why is the gap at leader? I didn't go to interval. Rage is looking for a move on Titan on the inside. Does a little dive bomb through there. Titan struggling on the softs, at least so far. As Rage gets around Titan, this is something Titan did not need whatsoever. But Ron needs to stay in this 3-second gap between himself and Kieran if he wants this victory, because Gary is right on the rear gearbox of this Ferrari driver of Ron.
Yeah, Gary obviously wanted to get a move on it. He wants to be the highest person without a time penalty, because both of them do not have a time penalty. And he almost could be looking for the move now. He is down the inside at turn 11. On the inside, does he make it work? Ron having the better traction around the outside and managing to stay ahead.
There we go, baby!
Slip.
Yeah, we whipping. We weaving, baby.
Oh, Gary going for it again. Down the inside into turn 12 now. Can Ron get the traction out of the corner? He can once again. It stays ahead of the Mercedes. Wow. Good defending there from the Ferrari.
Something to note, though, is that actually Ardell is gaining back on Kieran, so maybe not all is lost between the Ferrari and Mercedes driver, because the gap between the leader between Ron and Kieran is already at 3.4. He needs Ardell to catch. He needs Ardell to battle him hard as he can, because Skeppy with another 3-second time penalty, not having the greatest times in this Grand Prix, but when DRS gets enabled, if Ardell has DRS on Kieran, which as of right now he does not, but if he does, he's going to start gaining and everyone's going to be packed up again.
I think Kieran is actually starting to pull away a little bit more on the Red Bull. It's now over a second, so Ardell will not, unless Kieran possibly makes a mistake. Actually, I think he just made a little bit of one there, as now it's gone down to 8/10, and and that's exactly what Ardell needed, as the gap between him and Ron is almost the 3-second window.
Yeah, Ron may not even
He might
get
not even
P2 here. He needs.
Maybe not even on the podium, because Ishigo's pulling away.
Which is not good. Ron is breaking the slipstream from Gary once again. By the way, for weaving, you only allowed the weave two times. If you weave another third, you could get possibly a super license point, because that's what I got. I weaved 3 times in Spain. I got a super license point.
I just saw good traction from
Rage with the dive.
Yeah, he's just got a really good run at a turn 12 and managed to get the move on Potato on the exit. So that was a great move from Rage. He's now at the P6.
Yep, the only driver that have DRS on one another is just Ron and Gary. Gary will have DRS, but you have to go down between Potato, Rage, Titan, Skeppy, and Neat Doggo. They all have DRS on each other, which will be very, very important. You know, in the later stages of this Grand Prix. So now the DRS reduction system has been enabled, so now Ardell needs to get that DRS range of Kieran if he wants to do with anything for this win. If we look at time penalties here, I believe. Oops, that's the wrong gap, but they all have 3 seconds between the top 3, so if Kieran gets another 3 here, I'm not going to look at race tractor because I don't want to spoil it for myself, but Ardell 1.1, 1.0, I believe Ardell is just so much better for this section here. See, Kieran actually pulls back on him a little bit, which is not what you need, as Gary will have DRS on Ron, 60% battery, Ron at 50. Gary will have the ERS advantage, which will play dividends once he gets the DRS right here, and which he does. Ron is not breaking the slipstream. I believe he's just going to let Gary through.
That could be smart in the long run.
Yes, he does.
It could be smart in the long run, because obviously these two are championship rivals. Gary trying to claw back what he lost out last week, and he's doing exactly that. Meanwhile, further back, Potato Rage going at it. Potato down the inside at turn 13. Manages to make a stake. Rage trying to get the switch back, just not enough though. And Potato will stay.
Ardell another 3. Ardell gets another 3. That will elevate Gary up in the P4, not P4, P3, as Gary already has DRS on DXT Ishigo.
Gary's on a charge here. He's pulling away massively from Ron now, and it looks like the Mercedes has a lot of pace right now on the back of the Alfa Romeo, and once he gets it done, he's just going to sail by, and late braking for the Mercedes, and that is just not going to be enough though. Skeppy retires in the pits.
A very questionable decision for me. You'd have gotten a guaranteed point. So, nonetheless, Skeppy retires in the pit lane, but Gary needs to get around the DXT Ishigo like right now if he wants like any chances. Actually, there's something to talk about. Ardell has DRS on Kieran.
Actually, they're very equal on ERS level as well, but I think Ardell is just a little bit too far back to make a move. Not yellow flag. The battle for P7 going on. Titan has gotten past Rage. He doesn't actually have the DRS on Titan, so Yeet-Doggo is going to sail past. And Yeet-Doggo is going to go for a move on Titan. It's just a little bit too far back. He sends it down the inside.
Sends it.
A very late contact between the two. Will Yeet-Doggo get the position? Titan dives it back at the inside, but Yeet-Doggo trying to hang it around the outside. They're still going alongside each other. Now Yeet-Doggo has
Kieran
the
with
inside.
another 3.
Oh, he does. You're right. As Titan and Yeet-Doggo once again still going at it, and Titan will hold position. One thing to note: Gary got ahead of Ishigo, but now the front two has 6 seconds. Gary's in the box seat.
Yeah, he's in the bird seat, really. So that will mean that Gary will be a race winner with Ron P2, but I believe that'll just keep. I believe that'll be Ishigo P3. No, it will not. Actually, if you look at the leader here, it will not. That will put DXT P4. That will mean Ardell will be P3, at least for now. But Ardell and Kieran,
Ron could still get P2.
We have a battle for the lead shaping up. I mean, if you look at the gap between the leader, 5.3, Ron's already about to fall out of the 6-second gap. Like I said, he needs these front two to start battling. which the gap is very close between the two. These two are actually at equal battery, so the battery will not play a factor. It'll just be down to DRS.
I think Ardell just has
go.
enough.
He's looking for a move on the inside. Kieran defends it. Little contact. I believe Kieran's going for a sit track. Yes, he does. Will he look for a dive? No, he does not. He lets Ardell stay through. Alistair now. As actually something to talk about, DXT got around Gary. Once again, I see a little flag. That is for rage.
Oh. That's at the apex of turn 12. Did he make contact with someone?
And he's... doesn't look like it.
I mean, it's just the way he was positioned on the track. I think he might have. I'm not 100% sure.
Could be a rear axle.
Quite possibly maybe a lock of brakes. But one thing that this is helping, though, obviously Gary getting passed by Ishigo. Gary technically doesn't need to fight this right now, as he's well within the gap of all these drivers. Ardell trying to pull away from Kieran. Kieran staying on the back. Ishigo is slow, kind of keeping the gap between him and Kieran around the same. Gary just needs to stay where he is.
That is a retirement from Rage.
The pits.
Pit lane.
Yep.
Yeah, but once again, battle for the lead shaping up. So it's going to be very close. Does Kieran look for a dive? No, he does not. The battery once again stays equal, somewhat in the favor of Ardell, but only by a percent. So really doesn't matter. But once again, here we go. Will Kieran, does Ardell use the battery? No, he does not. He just sails past them. They're just training each other once again to keep Ron, Gary, and DXT behind them.
Yeah, the gap is relatively staying the same. Gary 4.4, Ron 4.9. Now 5 seconds. It's a bit close. Right now, Gary and Ron will take the top 2 spots unless one of them gets a penalty at the last second. Ron isn't known to get a penalty. We know this. That's why he's the leader. He's consistent. He keeps within the track limits. He's done it once again. And Gary, well, he's just had the overall pace and managed to keep it within track limits and getting ahead of Ron, which will crucially give him more points for the championship. We're now on the final lap.
Yeah, this race has gone by very quickly, but now, like you said, we're on the final lap of this Tier 3 Grand Prix. But the battle between Kieran and Ardell, this is going to go down to the wire, really. Maybe we'll have a photo finish, maybe we'll not, but nonetheless, almost falling out of the DRS of Gary. Oh, that's what you said, as Ardell gets through. Maybe it's just a tactical play to get DRS and Ardell.
Quite possibly, actually.
Here we go, he's going to go look for a dive here nonetheless.
Oh.
No, he does not actually, he stays behind him.
That's interesting.
Very smart play, but he's actually drifting going through there. Ardell and Kieran are dumping their battery here.
They know they can't get the win.
Ardell's looking for a defensive move. Oh!
Close.
Does Ardell look for a move? He's diving it. He's looking for a switchback here. Let's see if he does another dive down the inside. No, he does not. As the Titan gets ahead of U-Dog 7. But here we go. Last chance for Ardell, in my opinion. No move there, so it looks like Kieran, unless he spins out or something, will get the win on track. But if Ardell's lost the track, she going through there doesn't mean anything. His Ron's going through there drifting. But now we're caught to the penultimate corner. Kieran has a superior pace over everyone else this Grand Prix. But with time penalties, that will not help him out in any shape or form. DC gets another 3 seconds, as actually Kieran will win the Grand Prix on track. Ardell P2. That will put DXT P3 as he crashes out. That will be Gary P1 and on P2. That will mean Kieran will get P3 on track.
That was crucial for Ishigo. In that gap of Kieran. I think that's just absolutely cost him. He's now down. But at least he has a top 5. He wasn't able to keep his podium streak. But every single race he's started, he's finished in the top 5 still. But Gary, he was fighting at the lead. And despite the safety car, he managed to keep it within track limits.
Well.
That's all you got. Just well. Needless to say, though, I don't really know But Gary, he has managed to make it work, and Ron, once again, proving time penalties are crucial, grabbing another podium. And, well, the gap has closed.
Yeah. There's just a whole bunch of... This season's been so long. And you would think about it, if there wasn't no Saudi, we'd be like 3 races left. But no, we have like 6 races left now with this Grand Prix claim has come to a conclusion. But let's get our podium finishers in this party.
I was just doing that as you were speaking.
Yep.
Beat you to
There
it.
you go, there's Gary. As like you said before the Grand Prix, Ardell's no podium streak will continue, which is not which is not good for the championship.
But luckily for him, for his sake, he's managed to stay ahead of Ishigo and increase the gap between him and the Alfa Romeo. So that's exactly what he would have wanted. But unfortunately, it's not the win. Not quite. I believe we are waiting on Ron.
Yeah.
He actually just sent me a DM saying one more, and I basically did exactly that. So there you go. Hopefully he joins us soon.
There you go.
There we go. He's in.
There he is.
And with that, then we can start interviews. Yay!
Yeah, and make sure everyone's box is included. That way you can get our podium finishers in here to start interviews. I'm assuming everyone has their audio included. So, Zeno, I'll let you take charge for P3 and P2.
That I will do. Thank you very much. In which, Kieran, P3, you had the pace all weekend. It's actually your first podium of the season. Unfortunately, time penalties didn't exactly help, but luckily managing to grab your first podium and, crucially, some more points. How did you race?
It's alright. I feel like I had the pace, of course, and then I once saw a pit because the tyres weren't good. I caught up to like the pack with like Ron and all that, and I didn't have the straight line. Like Ron had really good straight lines, so I just got stuck. And then the penalty was annoying because then, yeah, just I could have won the race, but it is what it is.
It may have been, it is what it is, but needless to say, you still managed to grab your first ever podium this season. Ever put onto you. Next week, we go over to the Mexican Grand Prix. What do you think of your chances there? Do you think you could do the same or maybe better next weekend?
I'm hoping for better because I feel like I'm stronger at Mexico. One of my stronger tracks, so yeah, hopefully better. Still.
We'll definitely just have to wait and see. Zach, any questions for Kieran?
No, I did not. Congratulations on your P3. It would have been P1 on track, but due to time penalties, you had to settle for P3. Nonetheless, congratulations. It's a podium nonetheless. So we move on to P2 now with the Ferrari driver of Ron.
Perhaps the most...
That I will do. So, Ron, once again, keeping within the track limits and not having a penalty has done wonders for you. Another podium. Unfortunately, Gary did beat you and the gap has closed. But once again, another podium and driver of the day. Tell us, what was your race like?
Yeah, it was a little not too bad. From realistic, it seemed like the strategy was medium soft. It seemed like that was the best one, but DXD did not like that idea. We were not having a fun time there. I still felt like we would have been able to catch them in the end, but luckily we got that safety car. And we were gonna get out ahead of everyone. We were like in the best spot, but then Potato slowed down for some reason. And we just could not, like, we lost 3 seconds and I only got by Gary, but that didn't really matter in the end because of a little poor decision. But it was pretty nice, not a bad race. I let Gary by, hoping that, like, I aggressively blocked him like 2 laps in a row. I was like, alright, he's got DRS now. I didn't make a gap, so I let him by in the next straight. I didn't put up a fight. And I was hoping to just stick with him, but I had like nothing left. He was just faster at that point. I was hoping eventually maybe he'd try to pass DXD, but sadly he has a brain And, well, he did pass him, but then I guess DXD repassed him. I don't know why. And he just stayed behind him. He was smart about it. He knew all he had to do was sit there, get no warnings, and he would get the win. And I had no corner exit. I couldn't get a good run to try to do anything with DRS or ERS. So pretty nice. Second damage limitation. I think I lost only 7 points. But also sucks because dang, I lost to a British guy at my home GP. Damn it, man.
Sorry, bro.
It's definitely one way to put it, needless to say.
Devastating. Also, one more thing. Gary, whenever your interview is up, I would like to know how many warnings you had. I had 2.
I had 1.
Okay.
I just
He can just tell you now.
I
Yeah,
checked
needless
on
to
my
say,
safety
despite that, needless to say though, despite that race, again, another podium due to the fact that you kept it within track limits, just from the sounds of it. Next week though, it's the Mexican Grand Prix. How do you feel? What do you think your chances?
I don't know. I hate all these tracks.
You say that, yeah, you're on the
That's
podium majority of the time.
Yeah, well, because I'm consistent. The only reason I'm on the podium is I didn't get any penalties other people did. It's been a while, but the last race I really had any big confidence in was Russia, but I couldn't go one lap without getting touched by someone. And before that, like, my best race I put together was like the third race of the season at Portimao, or the second, I don't remember which one.
You actually got first that race.
Yeah, that's
Portimao.
why that was the like one race where I like actually won it on track. I think the rest, besides Japan, I don't really count that. I all got based off time penalties and just not getting anything. So all my good tracks I liked, like 3 of them I just DNF'd from trying to go through the field. So all my tracks I liked were in the beginning. The last track I liked was Russia, and that was just a terrible race for me. Every time we got a safety car, the restart got touched on lap 1. The safety car restart, I got touched immediately in the first corner. So there's just it sucks because the rest of these tracks I hate all of them. Some are okay. This was an okay track for me. Don't like Mexico. Brazil's okay. Australia's okay. Saudi sucks. Abu Dhabi's okay, and I'm probably missing something unless that's it.
Imola.
Imola's, I don't know. Okay. So hopefully I get more Japans. That would be nice. Gary, you need to die more.
Well, he said it himself, needless to say. Zach, any questions for Ron?
No, I do not, as we will move on to our race winner now.
Returning to Formula One in
Yeah,
2010 as a
my
works
bad.
team, Mercedes have been...
Take it away then,
Yeah, but
Zach.
anyway, my bad. But Gary, with the Mercedes driver, really heading in the COTA, Ron said it. You upset the Americans here at COTA. The American drivers are looking for an American win, but British driver, you got your revenge from the Revolutionary War. But Americans win everything that's important. But yeah, but nonetheless, as your P1, you would have gotten P3. I think it would have been on track. It was either P3 or P4. But nonetheless, but with time penalties, you not getting a singular warning except for one. You got one warning, which is really something out of the ordinary, especially for a track at COTA. Shows your consistency. Shows how get your way around the. But take it away. Just give us your thoughts really for this Grand Prix, and how do you feel for Mexico?
Like I say, Mexico, it's here or there. I'm not really excited. I'm not really strong there, I don't think, anyway. So, not really looking forward to that. But in the next 5, I reckon I'm good to go. Australia, Brazil, Saudi, Abu Dhabi, and Imola. Let's go. Be with them. So, looking forward to the next few races. Get Mexico out the way, but. Yeah, like I said, I just knew the target was finish above Ron as much as I could, and I was hoping for some, obviously if he was slipping that fight, like there could be a car between us maybe, but like you said, he stuck with it till the end. So keep it clean, there's your dividends. Yeah, I'm happy overall, can't argue, so yeah, move on to next week.
Yeah. But Zeno, do you have any questions for Gary?
No, I do not.
Well, I think that will conclude podium interviews, but now that will be the end of Tier 3. actually, in 30 minutes, we'll have Tier 4. It'll actually be swapped between me and Zeno. Zeno will be your main comm. I will be your co-comm for Tier 4. But tomorrow, the fastest tiers will tackle on. Coda, Circuit of the Americas, probably drivers there here at Tier 4. Because the majority of the Americans are really, really good at this game. So, you'll see more American drivers on the grid tomorrow for see what they can do. But nonetheless, on Sunday, we have ACC. I'm not sure what track it is, but on Monday, we'll have Tier 2 for ACC. And we will see you in 30 minutes.